Hello, everyone. Welcome to Professionally Unprofessional. I'm once again Calvin Atkinson, the nerd consultant. I'm joined by my good friends Reese and Elliot. Both, and we've spent.
Hello, Rob.
I have no idea what brought you here, but whatever it is, I apologize.
We've all spent we've taken a break all morning from playing Elden Ring.
Yep, I just managed to get the platinum trophy for it just this morning.
And
I'm still playing it. I'm currently going through one of the catacombs.
so if Elliot's swearing in a minute, we know why.
I'm not as bad as you think I am when there are other people around. I'm only ragey when I'm on my own, mostly.
Oh yeah. You should have seen me yesterday with Renala.
Plus, I'm not fighting one of the Deathrite birds, so I'm good.
Oh fuck those things. So we were gonna do this time we were this time we were planning to do an E3 prediction podcast with our special guest Alfie the dog, who's on Reese's lap right now. Hello,
It was just on
Alfie.
the haircut yesterday.
That no one can see, seeing as this is one of our only podcasts that doesn't have video.
But
Very true.
so we got Alfie joining us, and we were planning to do it, but of course E3's not happening this year.
Yep, it's been cancelled again.
I suspect this is a permanent cancellation, if I'm honest.
Possibly.
I mean, it wasn't cancelled before. I think last time it was more just they weren't doing it in a venue. They were just doing it remotely.
Yeah, but you got to remember, E3 is an industry event before it's a consumer event. So
Yeah.
having a virtual one, there's nothing for the industry guys. So like, you can't have indie devs can't have a meeting with say Ubisoft to say, can we have a bit of a financial incentive on this one? Do you want to we got this really cool idea, do you want to publish it?
Yeah, that's a major blunder to them.
To be honest, do you know what? I think the Death Nail was in there in 2019.
How so?
Well, PlayStation don't show up. One of the three major console manufacturers says, we don't think it's worth it coming to this event. That should tell you everything. Like, PlayStation don't go to it, and
I think the main difference is, I can't remember. Last year, didn't they just not have that much to show?
well, yeah, that was a COVID issue as well. I don't think it's
Yeah.
I think it's just the fact the companies have E3's tried to go to them again and said, we're doing a virtual only one, do you want to do it? And they're like, no, we're getting nothing out of this. We did it last year so that we could go in person next year. I think they're quite angry they haven't done an in-person event, because especially considering in-person cons are coming back this year. PAX East has happened this year.
Because it can't be a COVID thing now, can it?
No, most countries are completely lifting their COVID restrictions. Germany's about to lift all of its next week. Wales lifted theirs today, which was really surprising. I didn't realize they still had any.
No, same.
It's weird to think, because I live like a 10-minute drive from Wales, so I could drive 10. So Ren could drive me 10 minutes away, and I might be breaking rules I didn't realize.
Sure.
But the point is, PAX East is a thing. Tokyo Game Show is going to be in person again this year. So
Yep.
I think they're a bit mad that they're not doing an in-person one, and they don't have a financial incentive to say, well, Square Enix will do a Square Enix Presents, or
My one guess, maybe they didn't book the venue in time, because like they sort of have to book things well in advance. Maybe they were worried we were going to get the COVID thing.
that might be a factor. I think we'll know maybe E3 will try again next year. But the point is, Summer Games Fest is the big thing this year. And we're not just predicting Summer Games Fest in this week. I know it says that in the title, but this is not just Summer Games Fest predictions. We're basically predicting the summer of gaming. So we're predicting everything up until like the second week of September, really. I'd say...
Yeah.
That's good, because I don't really know that much about Summer Game Fest to really make any major predictions.
So we're going to give our predictions for like the Xbox show, the Nintendo Direct that's coming up, which will definitely not be part of Summer Games Fest. So basically, I'd say when we're making these predictions, if we say we won't see this, it doesn't mean we won't see it for the rest of the year. it means we won't see it up until September the 9th. So that's the Splatoon release. Splatoon 3 is our cutoff point for what we're going to talk about, which I think is a good point. So, incidentally, how do you guys feel about the fact E3's not a thing, but Summer Games Fest is going to kind of be the only game in town?
It's kind of a bit of a blunder, let's be honest. I don't think nearly as many people watch Summer Game Fest as they do E3.
Yeah, especially because E3 has got the legacy of the name attached to it after all this time.
E3's been going for a number of decades. Summer Game Fest, I think, is definitely more of a recent thing.
2020, it was a reaction to the fact there was no E3 and there was publishers wanted a venue to sort of big up their announcements. But the problem was the first year they did it was so unorganized. They never set a sort of time period for it. Anyone could do anything. And Jeff Keighley was constantly just tagging people. Like if Activision had an announcement, they'd say, yeah, that's part of Summer Games Fest. Or if Nintendo was holding a partner showcase, yeah, that's part of Summer Games Fest, even though I've not gone to Nintendo and asked them about it.
And there's also all the technical issues they had on stream as well.
Yeah.
So the stream's always going down.
No.
I'll be honest, last year, I think was the first one that I watched, and I kind of copped out after the Elden Ring release date.
Yeah, no, I didn't bother with anything after the Elden Ring release date because it was E3 the next day, and I wanted to watch all of those conferences, which Jeff also claimed were part of his... everything except the Nintendo Direct, he claimed were part of Summer Games Fest as well. I was like...
Let's be honest, last year, outside of Elden Ring, can you remember anything that was announced?
I remember they announced Tiny Tina's Wonderland, and they had a trailer for...
which also flopped when that came out.
And they had a trailer for Salt and Sacrifice. But that's about it. I can't really remember much of the Summer Games Fest kickoff show.
I swear Tiny Tina's Wonderland was announced in E3. I swear we knew about it ages ago.
No, they had another trailer. They had to put the same trailer in the Gearbox show at E3 the day after.
Right, okay.
So it was after they had the Ubisoft Forward, and then after that they had the Gearbox show, and they showed Tiny Tina's Wonderland.
Yeah. And then they also showed off the Borderlands film that's supposed to be in development.
Oh, and that stupid thing they kept showing, what was it, like Homeworld 3 is coming, and they just sell those really weird cryptic trailers.
Yeah.
It made for a good joke in Scott the Woz's video.
I did not watch... I did not watch the Gearbox one at all.
But I had a conversation. I'm sure he won't mind me mentioning his name in this. I had a conversation with Derek from Good Vibes Gaming the other day, and I mentioned about the Summer Games Fest and all that business. I remember he said something that he doesn't about Jeff Keighley and the Summer Games Fest, and I was asking like, does the Game Awards get on network television in the States? The answer is it doesn't. And I remember him saying it does kind of feel like it's becoming a bit of a celebrity fest, and it's kind of like the fact Jeff Goldblum is always there, or Christopher Nolan is giving out an award, or...
Yeah. I mean, I think we can be honest. The Game Awards over the last number of years have kind of had a bit of a weird look to it, with all the celebrities and all the advertisements and everything like that. Like, remember how much of a train wreck 2019's was?
Now,
with them advertising Google Stadia like every 5 minutes.
So.
Well, also the big thing as well. Who can forget Vin Diesel doing the Fast and Furious game announcement?
Yeah.
Oh no!
Yeah.
What an amazing game that turned out to be.
And then and 2 years later, we had Keanu Reeves doing the Matrix game, which was like, which was weird because that was already out.
If you were gonna have Keanu Reeves in, it would make sense because Cyberpunk came out, but no, fucking Matrix. Okay.
So for the record, we're basing our information on the time of this recording. It's the 27th of May, just gone 1 o'clock. I have my phone on alert in case anyone wants to, in case any of the companies tweet out an announcement.
And this is all obviously just speculation. We don't actually think that this is coming out. Like, I don't really believe that Jeff Keighley is going to be the next fighter announced in Smash Bros. But
So basically, it is speculation. Although I will say, in many cases, we're going to be making what I'd say are educated guesses.
Yeah.
yeah,
So on that,
that's
so on that note, the order we're going to go in is we'll do it as in the order a traditional E3 conference would go in. So if they no, not Xbox aren't giving us new information. So we'll say if they've announced a conference yet, and then what we think. So that's why, and then at the end we'll do a bunch of companies that don't traditionally have E3 conferences, and what we think they're going to do. So EA always kick off E3 usually, except in 2019 when Google did weirdly.
I don't think EA have already been at E3 since 2018. I'm gonna say.
Okay, but their EA Play is always like the day of the Microsoft show, so you might as well join in on E3.
Yeah.
In on E3.
Well, let's face it, it's probably because they don't have a lot to show off recently outside the licensed sports games.
Which
they will not be showing off FIFA.
Yeah,
Yep.
they've lost FIFA. EA's in a bad position, and from the rumors, they're looking to be acquired.
Yep.
Oh.
So before we go into what we think if they're going to show, I don't. For the record, I don't think EA is going to be showing anything at Summer Games Fest or any of the shows over the summer period.
Yeah, probably not. If they do, obviously they'll just do it in their own showcase because they're arrogant like that. Though I will say, I feel like maybe if we do get something from them at the Summer's Game Fest, which again, there's a stretch if they do, I have a feeling there'll be Dead Space.
Well, that's the thing. Dead Space, the remake, is their big game right now.
Yeah.
And they've already given away the release date prior to Summer Games Fest. I don't see a reason why they would show a new trailer, new footage. It's got a January release date.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe a bit more. Maybe, I don't know, they'll show a bit of gameplay.
Yeah. I mean, they could show that, but I think the way that the timing of it is, you could have held up, like they did it like a couple of weeks ago. You could have held this off and had a trailer reveal in Summer Games Fest, for example, and said the release date is January 27th, and here's some gameplay. Yeah. I don't see why you show off the release date prior to.
But I mean, it's come on, it's EA. You know what they're like. They're too high class to show up at these events. We can't let these simpletons show off our Madden 2076. No, we have to show it off ourselves. Because we're EA. We made Star Wars Battlefront 2, damn it.
Yeah, that's actually there's a point. Now we're going talking about the acquisitions. I think I'm going to make a prediction here. I do not believe EA will be acquired this summer.
No.
I believe they will be acquired down the line. Considering how long it takes for acquisitions to happen, I can't see them having lost FIFA. They do obviously now want to be acquired, but I think they would only just be thinking about it now. They're trying to make themselves look attractive to potential buyers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who do you think is going to scoop them up?
Microsoft.
Yeah, I've got
it's like every other company recently.
I could see Microsoft doing it. They've got that deal on Game Pass where you get an EA Play subscription.
Yeah.
I don't see Sony. I don't see Sony getting them unless I know they want exclusive rights to Star Wars license, but
I don't think Sony would see. They wouldn't get the Star Wars license though if they had EA at the minute. They'd get a couple of games, but they wouldn't get much.
Yeah.
But the thing about Sony is Sony doesn't like to buy those big companies. Only like one or two big companies right now I could see them buying, and those are Square Enix or Sega.
Mm.
And Sega would just be because they want to keep Atlas.
Yeah.
Sony like to buy really good up and coming studios and really mold them into their branding. I mean, let's for example take a look at Insomniac. That was very much a deal like that at the time. They weren't as huge as they are now. If my money is, I reckon the next studios Sony might buy are the young horses who made Bug Snacks, or Ember Labs who made Kenna Bridge of Spirits.
I think I can see them getting Bug Snacks more.
I think Ember Labs are more likely because they didn't pay for very long for exclusivity on Bug Snacks.
True, but also wasn't Bug Snacks a bigger hit than Kenna?
I think Bug Snacks sold a bit more, but Kenna did quite well at the Game Awards as well.
Bug Snacks definitely they did make a bigger deal that they had Bug Snacks than they did with Kenna.
So yeah, so I think the most we're going to see out of EA this summer is maybe a Dead Space trailer. I'd love to see a Dead Space remake trailer because I don't think we've seen that much of the game.
Well, I think another possibility could be Jedi Fallen Order 2, because Star Wars Celebration is happening right now this weekend. So there could be an announcement there with a trailer at Summer Games Fest.
Ooh,
maybe.
Yeah, there is a rumor that there's a Jedi Fallen Order 2 in development.
Yeah. So,
but we've not heard anything official from it.
Maybe. I feel like we would have gotten a bit more news on Jedi Fallen Order 2 before then, though.
Yeah, but
Cal's stripping.
I just took my jumper off because it's really boiling in here.
Demonetized.
It's okay too. We could be naked right now. They're not gonna. The audience isn't gonna be seeing us.
For the YouTube algorithm that I've already pissed off.
Right, Reese, put your penis away.
No, damn it, not again.
For the YouTube algorithm that is already pissed off with me after last week, none of this is actually happening. Please don't block this fun.
You think Susan's gonna care? We swear a lot. She's gonna ban us either way.
So, I think Reese might be onto something. That could actually be a good opening trailer for Summer Games Fest, like Jedi Fallen Order 2, because I don't think that's a closing trailer.
No, I don't think it's big enough.
Yeah, even I. Unless EA decides.
I mean, it could be big enough because it has a Star Wars license, but it might not be big. But it might not be that big because I don't think Fallen Order was too massive a success. I'm pretty sure it was a success, but I don't think it was massive.
We'll put it this way. I've got two predictions on what I think the final trailer at Summer Games Fest kickoff show is. And it's not, and both of them would be way bigger than this.
Okay.
So next one to talk about actually does have a show coming up, and they're not in the best position right now. Xbox and Bethesda. Oh shit!
Yeah, because haven't they delayed
everything?
Pretty much.
Whatever Bethesda was doing,
Starfield.
They've delayed. They've delayed both of Bethesda's next big games, Starfield and Redfall.
Yeah.
Neither of which will come out this year.
Which is funny because I did predict that about Starfield a while back, that it would be delayed.
Yeah, especially considering the fact that we hadn't gotten that much about that game, and all of a sudden the second time we see them, we get the release date. We just think, I feel like normally we would get more from it. Before
because the last thing we saw from it was just concept art.
What about?
Well, I mean, you could say the same about Elden Ring, but at the very least, in Elden Ring, when we got the release date, we got gameplay of it.
That is exactly. And
before then, we got a cinematic trailer. We didn't just get name, title, then cinematic trailer.
So what about? Okay, here's a thought I have. I believe we will still see Starfield and Redfall gameplay at the Xbox show, which is on June the 12th.
I put my money on Redfall. Probably not as much as Starfield.
Yeah, I think if we do see more from Starfield, it'll just be another walking video. I imagine.
This is the biggest problem with Xbox right now, and this is something that I've ranted about quite a bit, which is they are. It's the same problem Scott the Woz has with Microsoft. They are announcing way too much, way too soon, with nothing to show. I mean,
Yeah,
just look at Elder Scrolls 6.
But that was prior to the Microsoft acquisition.
It's essentially what Square Enix do with their Final Fantasy games. I think the main difference being Square was better with Final Fantasy 16. Meanwhile, clearly Microsoft hasn't really learned anything.
Well, here's the thing about Microsoft. I mean, a prime example of this was in 2020 when they had their showcase that year. They announced a game called Everwild. It's being developed by Rare, and I was like, well, that's definitely a few years off, but that looks quite good. And then they announced afterwards, Rare were being interviewed, and they said, oh, we don't know why they wanted to show that trailer. We don't even have the core concept of the game done yet.
Oh, bloody hell.
They still...
Yeah, which is funny because we've heard that exact same story before with Anthem, where they rushed that out.
The main difference with Anthem is, if I remember correctly, BioWare has only been sitting on that thing for like 8 years before they really started to get work done. And the EA was like, what are you doing? You've been working on this for 8 years. You got nothing from it. So that's more BioWare fault than EA, really.
Well, they were working on it for 8 years, but then they started gameplay like the year before. They showed it off.
Yeah.
Really? The first time I've ever seen it was in one E3, I think 2018.
Yeah, there's a great video by a YouTuber I recommend. It's called Death of the Game. And he covered all the development of it. And it was just so bad and mishandled.
Is he the guy behind that series, What Happened?
No, that's a different one.
Oh, yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, no, my bad. Actually, there's a few... Here's the thing about Microsoft on that note. I feel like their show, their upcoming show, I think they could easily do it with announcing barely anything. And just have updates throughout most things. Like, I want an update on Avowed. I wouldn't mind an update on Fable. Like, I'm not expecting an update on, say, Perfect Dark, because the state that game's development is in, forget it. That's not coming out for until at least 2025, if not later.
Yeah.
Well, I'm expecting a bigger push for Halo, considering that's lost over 90% of its daily players now.
But see,
for Season 2.
They're not going to
release... Really?
Yeah, no.
It's been a massive flop.
Because Halo fans are relentlessly playing those games. That's a big surprise.
Yeah, no, they're all just going back to the Master Chief Collection. They're not sticking with Infinite. Even I'm kind of growing tired of Halo Infinite. I played a bit of Season 2, and it was just like, what, is this it? This is...
Maybe rubbish. Like... Because all the stuff has been like free updates. I think they need like a proper DLC to really add something to it.
Well, the thing they haven't added so far is co-op campaign and Forge mode. And the fact those two are still not in the game, we're coming up to 6 months past release, is baffling.
Well, you can also look forward to a crossover with the Halo TV show that everyone now loves.
Oh, God.
Quick question. A quick question about that. Were people really that upset that apparently Master Chief had sex in it?
Oh, there's a lot more to it.
Is that really something to get pissed off about?
Oh, no, Ali, it's worse because he had sex with a prisoner of war, which is a war crime.
Oh, and he's fucking... Oh,
okay.
Oh, and he's completely genocidal in this.
You need to understand, I don't keep up with anything Halo-related.
No, look, put it this way. There was an article that Reese pointed out to me, which was, as this article that said... I spread this article to you guys. It was an article that said, I think it was in the Games Radar or something. It was like, the curse of TV, video game adaptations to TV shows strikes again. And people point out, what about Castlevania, Sonic SatAM,
The Witcher?
The Witcher.
The Witcher's more of a book adaptation than a show.
But
Cuphead, I would even say Cuphead's great.
Yeah, Cuphead's pretty good. I like Cuphead. And the upcoming Sonic Prime looks pretty good.
Hell, Sonic Boom is good. What are you on about?
Yeah, Sonic Boom's funny.
Yeah, but the major point about all those series is the creative teams actually looked at the source material. For Halo, they didn't play or look at any of the games.
Oh, not again.
Yeah. It was all exposed in interviews. Because they said, we like the idea of Halo, but we're going to take all the stuff you love out and throw our own ideas in, which is why there was massive backlash.
Isn't that basically the same thing that happened with the Cowboy Bebop?
Kind of, sort of, very similar. But
the main difference is I like elements of the live action Cowboy Bebop.
now
So
the delays to Microsoft have definitely affected them because a lot of people are posting on Twitter that they're cancelling their Game Pass subscriptions because there's nothing substantial coming to the service.
I'm not canceling mine. I feel like we would still get some cool things down the line.
I feel like there will be some cool Game Pass announcements. I don't think that all of them are going to be in this summer, but I think some will come around. Like I think, for example, they might pay Warner Brothers to get Gotham Knights on Game Pass day one.
Oh yeah,
I could see that happening. Although that game does not look very good.
I've seen it. It basically seems like it's trying to combine the Arkham series with Spider-Man.
Yeah, and they've also shown off a trailer for the tie-in TV show, and that looks equally as bad and low budget.
But the weird thing about it is it looks like a live service game, but they're insisting it's not a live service game.
I still won't put it past them to sneak it in after launch.
I would not either.
If you want, I'll take the blow when it comes to reviewing it. See how bad it really is.
I might. I'll still get a copy on whatever you get it on, so we can test out the multiplayer.
All right.
We
still haven't done the multiplayer for Strangers of Paradise yet.
Yeah. I need to get around to that at some point. Actually, I don't think about. But okay, let's do a little bit of prediction. Will Microsoft show anything that comes out later this year? Because I think they'll have at least one game for the rest of this year.
I can't think of anything major that will come out this year for them to release.
Yeah.
The medium to the hard.
One thing I think
the medium 2 remastered.
It's the medium 2. Why is it called the medium? Why is it called the medium? Because it wasn't rare and it's not well done.
Hey.
Shall I? Actually, there is one game I think will come out this year. Forza Motorsport 6. I think that does make 2022.
I mean,
when did the last Forza come out?
The Forza Horizon 5 came out last year, but it's made by a different team than the Motorsport team.
So are we getting wait, are we getting yearly Forza games now?
I don't think so. No, I think this is more going to be. Forza Motorsport is basically Xbox's answer to Gran Turismo,
and it's much better.
Well, it's going to be. It's likely going to be much better than Gran Turismo 7 because that has not worked out very well for Sony.
No.
Even though they're now going ahead with a TV show.
Yep.
Why are they going for a TV show? Oh yeah, the great story potential they could do with fucking Gran Turismo.
You can make a story. They did a terrible job, but you can make a story out of Need for Speed. You could easily make a story out of Forza Horizon 5. I don't see how you make a story out of Gran Turismo.
No, especially because I fully completed the story mode, and it's so bare bones. There's not even voice acting; it's all just text.
Seriously, a Gran Turismo TV show will be like making a movie about Wii Sports.
Yeah,
I would rather.
Somehow, I expect that one to be better.
Yeah, no, I would.
Definitely.
I would so watch a Netflix show about Wii Sports. Shall we? Actually, that's a great kids show. Nintendo, write this down.
Yeah.
Nintendo, we're doing your work for you, buddy.
Again.
I don't think, for example, Avowed.
While I have you here, please do a remake of XD Gala Darkness.
So the one thing that comes around every Microsoft show is the one franchise everyone wants to see a remake or a new entry in. Is
Doom.
Well, they are owned by Microsoft now, but is it this year? Are we going to see Banjo-Kazooie?
No, I don't think so.
No, I think they're still looking for a developer to do it. I think we will see.
I don't think we'll ever get Banjo 3E, sadly, or even a remake of Banjo-Kazooie.
I think we will.
Well, we did, Ali. It's just got nuts and bolts.
Oh yeah, how could I also forget Banjo-Kazooie Pilot for the Game Boy Advance?
I do have one studio that Microsoft is about to own that I think could do it, and that's Toys for Bob. They will get Toys for Bob when the Activision deal goes through. So
very true.
I'd love to see Toys for Bob. They did the Spyro Reignited trilogy. They did Crash Bandicoot 4. Can you imagine them doing a Banjo-Kazooie game?
Yeah, the art style will look great.
Again, I still don't really see that happening, mostly because I don't think Microsoft will really see much marketing potential out of like older gamers.
I think they'd be really dumb to not see that marketing, because look how enthusiastic everyone was when Banjo and Kazooie went into Smash Brothers. They're not. Phil Spencer's not stupid. He will have looked at that reaction and seen, okay, there is something in this. There is still a fan base that sees it.
The demand is still there for it.
If Microsoft decide to go off on that demand, do you think they say we'll make a Switch version as well?
I hope so.
I personally don't think they will.
I don't know if we will actually. We have Banjo-Kazooie on NSO.
So Microsoft are still willing to work with Nintendo. I mean, look at all the Microsoft first party games that are on Nintendo. You've got Cuphead isn't Microsoft first party. You do have Hellblade on there. You've got they did
Doom Eternal.
Doom Eternal, Microsoft first party now. Microsoft does have, and Ori was Microsoft licensed, and they're on Nintendo Switch now.
I guess Hades was exclusive to Microsoft for a short time.
No, Switch exclusive.
No.
Yeah, it was on Switch as well. My bad.
No, it was actually a Steam exclusive first.
How did I not know that? I played it on Switch when it came out.
Okay.
No, it was actually a Steam exclusive first because it was in open beta for years.
Oh, fuck yeah, that's right.
So we are going to do a Professionally Unprofessional about the Xbox show a day after it comes out. So we'll give our full thoughts on the Xbox show when that happens. Next company is one we talked about a bit, Square Enix. Does Square Enix have a show, Square Enix Presents, this summer, or do they stick to other people's shows?
I think they personally will this year.
I think they will. They sure shown in the past they are starting to do their own presentations.
I'm gonna go against you two. I'm gonna say no, they won't, because those presentations seem more to show off their Western franchises, and they've just sold all those off.
No, I think that they're going to show off trailers for Final Fantasy 16 and 7 Remake Part 2.
See, I think those two are going to be so tied in with Sony that they'll be at a Sony show rather than a Square Enix own show.
I think if they do show off anything, they'll probably show off those games. First of all, what's that one? What's that one game they showed off in their last? No, I think it was State of Play. My bad.
Star Ocean was one they showed off. I know Valkyrie Chronicles. Yeah.
I think we'll get something for Avengers, even though I think that thing should die.
But they don't own it anymore.
Avengers is dying, and they don't have the license because they sold Crystal Dynamic.
Oh, right, okay.
So they don't have the Avengers stuff anymore. That's the point. They don't have Tomb Raider anymore. They don't have Avengers anymore. They don't have Ex-Deo anymore.
No.
And the only Western studio they've kept on board is Dotnod, who make the Life is Strange games.
Oh boy, because those have been such a success.
Because those ones have been so good. For Christ's sake, why could you not keep the guys who made Guardians of the Galaxy?
I know.
The best games of last year, for fuck's sake.
They did sell Eidos Montreal, but it's precisely because Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy didn't meet their expectations that they're making these sales to keep investors happy.
Yeah, because guys really undersold
what they were
expecting. The general audience. Yeah.
But was that because it generally didn't sell well because they vastly overestimated?
The combination of that and the fact people were put off by Avengers.
Yeah.
But the point is, at the end of the day, they're not going to look at the Metacritic or the critical reception. They're going to look at the sales figures.
Yeah.
Did they not learn nothing when EA said, "Oh, we're going to start making Dead Space if the game doesn't sell 3 million units"?
Well, companies do this all the time. If you want more of something you actually want, buy this thing you don't actually want. Sega did it with Monkey Ball. Capcom do it all the time. Even Nintendo was really shitty about this with Fire Emblem.
Yeah.
Wait, which one?
Well, they said the one that's the DS one that's really good. I forgot its name. Fire Emblem. Fire Emblem Awakening. Fire Emblem Awakening. They said if that didn't sell well, it was going to be the last Fire Emblem game.
I guess it must have then.
Well, yeah, obviously it
Yeah,
did.
it did. It was one of the highest selling in the franchise.
And that, but it's weird. But I still found that really emotionally manipulative to say, if Fire Emblem Awakening doesn't sell well, we're not sure we're going to make any more of these. And they did it again with Chibi Robo. That one was if Ziplash didn't sell well, they weren't going to make. Even though,
because they were totally expecting an incredibly niche franchise that they screwed over constantly and saying, "Oh, hey, this is the last one. If you don't do anything, if it doesn't sell well, piss off."
Okay.
Yeah, it's just emotional blackmail.
What do we think though about? Because we're going to be off topic. What do we think about the rumor that Forspoken is being delayed to 2023 because they want to put Final Fantasy 16 in that slot?
I don't think that's going to happen. As I said, I think Final Fantasy 16 probably more likely to be 2023 release.
Reese, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't think that holds water, especially because we've seen so much more from Forspoken than Final Fantasy 16 at the minute.
And especially seeing that Forspoken has already been delayed a decent number of times.
Here's the thing, though. Whenever we've seen Forspoken, it still looks kind of rough.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. It's always looked a bit rough in every... I feel like Forspoken could use maybe another delay. I would much rather Final Fantasy 16 come out around the holiday period than Forspoken.
Yeah,
but we've not actually seen tangible gameplay for Final Fantasy 16 yet. We only have the CGI trailer to go off.
The weird thing is, I'm going to make a prediction no matter where they do it. Square Enix will show a trailer for Final Fantasy 16 this summer.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
Me too.
Here's a question though: is it the closing trailer for Summer Games Fest, or is it or is it even a trailer in Summer Games Fest's kickoff show?
I feel like if we're gonna get if there's gonna be something, it's gonna be if they do their own presentation, it's gonna be in that.
I also think Final Fantasy. No, I think it's either a Sony. I think it's a Sony show. I think that Sony definitely holds some sort of marketing deal on the fact, and they got the console exclusivity to Final Fantasy 16.
But at the same time, Final Fantasy is one of Square's most iconic franchises. So I feel like if Square were to show it off, it will probably be in their own thing.
I think we're all agreed Final Fantasy 16 will appear before September the 9th.
I don't think it's that it will. I think it's because it has to.
Yeah, especially at this point.
Okay, here's my point. If we see nothing of Final Fantasy 16 in 2022, my attitude at that point is, right, you definitely showed it off way too early.
Yeah.
What about 7 Remake 2?
I think we will at least see a teaser for that at the very least.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be getting any gameplay yet, just because it hasn't been that long since we got 7 Renegade.
Yeah.
The thing about 7, the thing about it is, well, we have seen a bit of Final Fantasy 7 activity because we had the in the Last Soldier game they had the Man with a Mission crossover.
Yep, which is just a terrible battle royale live service game.
Well,
Big surprise! They've been doing a fair few of them. I mean, who remembers the Nier mobile game?
Oh yeah. But the thing about it is as well. I suspect the producers are talking like there's going to be some stuff we'll see soon. So I think we will see 7 Remake get revealed at least this year, but I don't think we'll see it till 2023, 2024. 7 Remake 2 is not coming out this year. Yeah,
I don't think it. 7-2 is definitely not coming out this year. I feel like we're at the very least going to wait till after 16's out before we get that.
One more thing I want to talk about with regards to Square Enix. Do we see the console releases announced on even possibly released for the Pixel Perfect remasters?
Well, that's. I mean, I feel like if we don't get that, it'll be a massive blunder to them because so many people are wanting these games on the Switch at the very least. And it will be, and while it's not gotten as much want for Xbox or PlayStation, I'm certain people would love to play it on them.
Incidentally, this the whole reason I'll say it was worth it was simply because it led to my favorite Scott the Woz joke ever.
Which one?
They're releasing Final Fantasy on games on platforms that already have most of them. Square Enix fans, does this ever happen to you? Get shot in the face.
Yeah.
I think that does happen. I think it could be I think the only reason it doesn't happen is if it's in the September Direct. It doesn't happen. Yeah. It's either in the June Direct or the September Direct. I'm not sure which one. I think we see a trailer and a shadow drop of the Pixel Perfect remasters with a physical version out a few months later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, just quickly, here's my question, because obviously this is a thing I want most from Square. Do we finally see something from Dragon Quest 12 this year?
No. We just had the Dragon Quest stuff we talked about yesterday. They said they're working on Dragon Quest 12, but it's not ready to be shown anytime soon. I think if we see anything Dragon Quest related, it will be the Dragon Quest 3 remake, but I'm not sure it releases this year.
Alright.
But
that's disappointing. That's disappointing. I just want Dragon Quest 12, damn it.
The thing about Dragon Quest 12...
you can rewatch the film and like it.
I'll say, if we see anything Dragon Quest related, I suspect it's at the Tokyo... it's not the summer, it's a Tokyo Game Show. Because Dragon Quest is so popular in Japan.
Yeah.
Anything that gets announced is going to be on a Japanese-focused presentation. And all of these presentations over the summer are going to be Western-focused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, with that in mind, let's go to a Western company, Ubisoft. Does Ubisoft have a Ubisoft Forward?
Well, they have to show off the Avatar game somehow.
Well, there's two games they need to talk about. They need to talk about... they are definitely coming out at the end of this year, like Ubisoft has claimed, and I think one of these definitely does come out by the end of this year, which are Avatar and Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope.
I feel like with Mario plus Rabbids, we probably get that more than Nintendo thing. Like, it's made by Ubisoft, but it is very Nintendo focused.
Yeah, I don't think Ubisoft have enough to show off right now to have a Ubisoft Forward. I think they would just drop Avatar on Twitter and have Sparks of Hope in the June Direct.
I mean, I don't know, maybe we get more Assassin's Creed.
But the next Assassin's Creed game is the live service one they're working on, and I don't know when they want to reveal that. Like, that's not... You got to be honest. I think they know that announcement's not going to go down well. They're just going to palm it off by saying something like, "Well, we knew it wasn't going to go down well, but this will be the only Assassin's Creed game for ages, so you'll definitely buy it."
At the same time, though, you just think if it's not going to go down well, then why do it?
Because live services if live services are done well, they just make more money than it's the whole thing that what companies want now. Why so many things are going to subscription services? It's the idea of companies want you to pay for things when they're not releasing it.
Yeah.
And live service games live service games, in my opinion, in theory they could be great, but we've just not seen that go down well.
Yeah. The thing is, I feel like live service games can work because you kind of seen that with Splatoon, for example. Because that game is fully complete. Nintendo just kept adding more stuff into it. And I feel like that's what live service things should and can be. The problem is companies either use it as an excuse to release half-finished games or to just try and artificially keep the game alive, which...
Well, yeah, but here's the thing.
A lot of live service games just kind of suck in general.
Now, we know Ubisoft are definitely looking to live services for the future, and I would say live services will not be industry standard until Nintendo does it. As soon as Nintendo does it, there's no going back from it. But even then, I'd be interested to see how Nintendo would do it. Would they attach one of their well-known IPs for it, or would they create a new IP to facilitate a live service game?
I think we'll kind of slightly get that with Splatoon 3, just because we've also kind of got that with the other Splatoon games.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
I get your point on that one. What about okay, here's a thought on mine. Here's one I'm going to throw out the window now. We will not see it in any presentation this summer. Beyond Good and Evil 2.
No, we will not
No.
be seeing any of that. I'm half convinced we are never getting that game.
No,
that's dead and buried, in my opinion.
Yeah, after E3 last year, Ubisoft even came out and said, we don't have anything to show this time. I was like, what do you mean? You last showed this in 2018. What do you mean you have nothing to show? That means...
Hell, hasn't the game been in development since like 2014?
It's the Guns N' Roses Chinese democracy of the video game world. Except this one will never release.
Yeah, it must have restarted development at least 3 times by now to have nothing to show for it.
It is basically Duke Nukem Forever all over again with that.
And from what we're hearing, this is not the game we want, because it's going to be another multiplayer live service game.
Why?
Yeah.
Why? Beyond Good and Evil 1 was like a single player game.
Yeah, they want to make a multiplayer game out of it now.
Oh, piss off. Don't call it Beyond Good and fucking Evil then.
That's the thing about it. Ubisoft doesn't want to make these kinds of games anymore. They're not interested in making single player experiences anymore. The only reason they're doing it with Mario and Rabbids is because Nintendo's holding out the checkbook for it.
Good God, I dread to see what the next Far Cry's like.
I really dread what Far Cry, especially considering they definitely Ubisoft are really looking more and more into live services, and I think they're going to kick it off with this Assassin's Creed game that they're working on. Okay, let's talk PlayStation now. Does Sony have a PlayStation presentation this summer, or do they have a state of play? What do they do this summer?
I feel like we'll get a state of play from them. And the one thing I can think of is maybe we'll see something from God of War.
No, I think after yesterday, that is a definite now, because God of War Ragnarok is almost been confirmed it will be coming out in 2022.
Yeah.
The Korean,
so we'll kind of have to get it.
Yeah, it's on the Korean rating board. Sony is not releasing a game past October. So, oh God, when do they want to show that, though, is the question. Do they want to show it in June or July? Are they going to have a state of play that focuses only on God of War? Or are they going to have...
don't they normally do state of plays in, I believe July or August?
They tend to have a couple like that, but they also go a bit back and forth when they have their big one, their PlayStation presentation. Like, one year, I think they had it in like June or July. Like 2020, I think it was either June or July. But last year it was September. Now, it's obviously not going to be September if they want to show off God of War, because that game's going to be coming out either in September or October.
Yeah.
So, I think they might have a state of play that just focuses on God of War Ragnarok.
Same. It is looking more likely, especially like a story breakdown as well, since we know so little.
I think they want to keep a lot quiet about that. So I imagine it's going to be a gameplay focused one, similar to that one we had for Horizon.
I don't think it'll be a very big one then, because from what we've seen so far, the gameplay is not that much different from God of War PS4, really.
Yeah, but it definitely... That's actually another point to make. It will be coming to PlayStation 4 as well. They're obviously not going to... The only other thing they might want to detail is more games coming to PlayStation Plus Premium. Like, for example, if they've worked out a deal with Konami to bring... they've worked out a deal to bring Konami to bring the Metal Gear Solid games or Silent Hill games to PlayStation Plus Premium.
Maybe talk to Capcom and get some of the old Resident Evil games on there.
Yeah, so that would be a big deal announcement. They might have a PlayStation presentation for that. I mean, PlayStation Plus Premium doesn't look amazing at launch, but it does look like it's going to get better as time goes on.
Yeah, well, what they really need to do is get rid of the 50 FPS ROMs and upgrade to 61s.
Yeah, it's definitely something they need to do. But,
yeah.
Now, they have said...
We do not want a repeat of the PlayStation Mini.
Now, that being said, the PlayStation Mini did come with some 60 Hertz ROMs, and some of the games on Premium will be played at 60 FPS. So it's not a total disaster at this point, but it's not great.
It's just a very bad look because they have the ROMs because they had them on the PS3.
Now,
It's 60 FPS.
here's one game I think could close out Summer Games Fest, but Sony might want to hold it back for their own show. The rumored Silent Hill 2 remake that's being done by Blooper Team.
Yeah.
Do you think? I haven't really been keeping up with that. I haven't been keeping up giving news in general, really. But is it far enough into development that we might be able to see something from it?
I think so, because we saw that leak on Twitter with the screenshots that have been verified.
Yeah.
They are definitely from a Silent Hill game, because Konami copyright struck the images as soon as they came up.
Yeah.
So Konami did not want people to see these images. We know Nate the Hate leaked that he believes that there's a bunch of Silent Hill projects that are on the way. The one that's Sony exclusive is a 2 remake is likely a 2 remake that's being done by Blooper Team.
Which Ali should be quite familiar with that team considering they did the Medium.
Yeah, they're the medium devs.
It makes sense as well because the Medium was a spiritual successor to Silent Hill.
It wasn't a very good spiritual successor, but it was a spiritual successor.
I still find out. I just think it's all right.
Yeah, it's fine, but it was a bunch of times. The camera wasn't great. I didn't like the camera in the Medium. It was there's only so many ways you can make me like fixed cameras.
I mean, I didn't mind the fixed cameras for it, and plus, I mean, obviously, spiritual successor of Silent Hill. I never once thought it would be as good as Silent Hill.
Okay, while we're on the subject of Medium, Elliot, be honest with me. How many times did you look up a guide on how to do a puzzle in the Medium?
Only once.
Right, I'm clearly thick then.
Only once, and that was because I was trying to look for a passcode and couldn't find it, so I just looked up what the code was.
Oh, news just in. UK Halo fans, if you're at MCM this weekend, they're showing off the first UK screening of the Halo series. Joy.
Those poor fools.
Oh wow! I'm about as excited for that as I am for anything cyberpunk related.
Wow! You jumped out of the plane and didn't check if you had a parachute there, Elliot. But okay, do we think Silent Hill 2 remake is a big enough announcement to close Summer Games Fest or a PlayStation presentation?
I'd say so. I mean, Silent Hill 2 is still one of the most beloved horror games of all time.
Reese, what do you think?
I think it's big enough to close the Sony presentation, but not the games as a whole. Just because there's so many people these days who haven't played it, so it's kind of lost the recognition over the years.
So yeah, I think it is a Sony show, and I think the one that Jeff Keighley's going to close Summer Games Fest with is Kojima's new game that he's working on with Microsoft.
Death Stranding 2.
No, I think he's working on something else other than Death Stranding 2.
Yeah.
I think he is working on Death Stranding 2, but I think he's got this other game that he was working with Google on, and then when Stadia collapsed, he moved to Microsoft.
Wait, I thought Stadia was still around. I thought they were trying to keep it alive.
No,
it's on live support.
It's on live support. They're internal, and they've shut down their internal studio, so they're not making any more first party games for it.
Once again, Google just tries to do something and fails colossally.
Oh, yep. No. I was at a conference once, and there was a group of people promoting these apps for Google Glass. And
oh, yeah, I remember Google Glass.
This was
God.
I keep on.
Google Glass.
Put it this way, they were promoting this in 2019. It's like, what are you on about? It's 2019. This thing was dead 2 years ago.
Excuse me, did I just go back? Go back to 2012? What the hell?
Yeah, seriously, they were still trying to promote this thing in 2019. And I was like, what the? I really felt like putting a hand up and saying, you are aware this tech is dead and Google's probably going to kill the
Yeah,
service.
I will just say, people were making fun of it when it was relevant. You are really pushing boundaries here.
Trust me, there was way more skeevy stuff about that presentation, which I won't go into because I don't want to get sued. So we'll discuss this one privately. But
it's okay. We're not big enough to get sued.
No. Trust me, I really don't want to attempt this one.
Yep.
But
yeah, clearly, it was a joke.
I know. But I feel like the only other game from PlayStation that we haven't heard about really is Tchia. That has missed its spring 2022 release window now.
Oh yeah.
That was the French Caledonia game that was like Mario Odyssey.
Oh yeah, that one.
I think that does come out this year. I think that comes out in the summertime. That PlayStation want to do a quick trailer for it. And I think PlayStation could have a decent year if they just if the only two games they bring out for the rest of the year are Tchia and God of War Ragnarok. I think that's a good 1-2 punch there.
Yeah, well, let's hope that we get more trailers for the Insomniac games like Spider-Man 2 and Wolverine.
Yeah, I feel like those ones would definitely be more important. At the very least, which one of those do you think we'll be getting first?
Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I don't know why. I think Wolverine.
Spider-Man 2 already has a release window of next year. I don't think they want to release Wolverine and Spider-Man in the same year.
Yeah, maybe.
Especially because we also know more about the voice cast as well. The Spider-Man 2 with Tony Todd being Venom, whereas we still don't know the voice cast for Wolverine.
I do want to know what the voice cast is going to be like for Wolverine, but obviously they're going to have to reveal more about Wolverine before we start learning into it.
Definitely.
I think Sony will have a PlayStation presentation this year. I don't know whether they're going to do it in the summer. I don't know whether they want to, because it depends. How do they want to market God of War? Is really going to depend on that one.
Yeah.
I also think some third parties will want to get involved with whatever they're going on about. So, okay. The only other we will talk about one of the other games that will be PlayStation exclusive when we get to the Atlas section of this. Next thing to talk about is Nintendo.
Woo!
So,
the thing we'll probably have the most to say about.
So Nintendo already has a few releases coming for the rest of the year. We got Mario Strikers and Fire Emblem Warriors coming in June. We got Xenoblade Chronicles 3 coming in July. We have the Splatoon 3 coming September the 9th. The only other games that's been announced but hasn't been dated is Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
And also the new release window for Advance Wars.
Yeah, Advance Wars, I think... I've got a feeling that's either August or December.
We still got Bayonetta 3, which is still coming out this year.
Bayonetta 3...
hopefully.
Yeah, no, the investor reports did say they thought a late 2022 release was likely. I agree with that one. I think Bayonetta 3 comes out in October. I think we'll see a new trailer for it in the June Direct.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think the one thing we should rule out from the June Direct, because of the way it was delayed, is Breath of the Wild 2.
Yeah.
I feel like if we get it, that will probably be for the last Direct of the year. I think that's like a September Direct.
Yeah, Nintendo knows the next time we see Breath of the Wild 2, it's released.
Unless they want to do an entire Direct just for Breath of the Wild 2.
I don't think they do. I think it's going to be the last September Direct, and we'll get the release date and the time window.
You need to remember E3 2016. Didn't they wasn't the entire E3 just promotion for Breath of the Wild?
Yeah, but that was a bit. I think there's different circumstances there. I don't think. I think they will have a Direct just for Breath of the Wild, but I think it's going to be closer to release, and they want to keep a few things under wraps as much as possible.
Yeah. I'm not saying it'll be like. I'm not saying we're going to replace one of the Directs. I'm just saying I think that will happen.
So speaking of Zelda, I think we'll see the trailer in the June Direct for Wind Waker and Twilight Princess combo pack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also think we're going to see the trailer for Metroid Prime HD. I think
Not Prime 4, Cal?
No, Prime 4's not this year. Prime 4's next year.
I feel like we'll only get one of the two of them. One of the two of those. I feel like we'll get one in the Summer Direct and one in the September Direct.
Okay, well, if that's the case, which one's which then? Do you think it's Zelda is in the or Metroid Prime is in the Summer Direct?
I'm gonna say probably Zelda.
I'm gonna go again. I'm gonna go and say Metroid.
Yeah, I'll side with Cal. I'm going to go Metroid, just because of the successor.
I think they're gonna make Wind Waker and Twilight Princess a much more low key release than Metroid Prime HD. And by the way, before anyone says, "Oh well," the team that did the ports for the Wii U of Twilight Princess and Wind Waker said they hadn't been asked to do it. That doesn't mean it doesn't exist. In fact, because from what we've been hearing, it's been done for a while. Nintendo's just been sat on it. I mean, they do this all the time. That's what's happened with Xenoblade Chronicles 3. It's the only reason they've been able to move up Xenoblade Chronicles 3 from the September release date that was originally planned to the now July release date. So yeah, I think I think another games we need to talk about are the rumored 3D Mario. Is this a thing, and do we see it in the Summer Direct?
I'm not sure. I don't think we know enough about a rumor, let alone an official thing about it.
Yeah, I don't think so, really.
I think Nintendo knows they need something big to end this Direct on. And I don't think they want to end it on Breath of the Wild 2, considering they've just announced you're not going to play it till next year.
I think they'll probably end on another trailer for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
I don't think they will. I think that's a Pokemon.
No, I think that's a Pokemon Company thing.
Yeah, Pokemon Company pretty much do all the marketing for the Pokemon games. So I think Pokemon Presents is when we'll see the next trailer for Scarlet and Violet.
True, but Nintendo did do a lot for Arceus.
That's true. They did do quite a bit of marketing, but there was never.
In all fairness, with Arceus, that was more Arceus. That was a spin-off game. Meanwhile, this is the next official big Pokemon game.
And the other factor is as well, the Pokemon games rarely, if ever, go into directs. They do go into the E3 directs, but that's because they guarantee a larger audience, and there's always kind of a presence there. This is not going to be at E3, so I don't think they're going to put it in that one. I think we'll see a Pokemon Presents, and we'll get a new trailer for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, but I don't believe it's the E3 present. I don't believe it's in the June Direct.
Yeah, same.
I also think we're going to get a Direct. Do we think we're going to get a Direct for Xenoblade 3, like we got for Xenoblade 2?
Yes, I personally do. Just because there's so much more to show off.
I feel like if we get anything more from Xenoblade, it'll probably be another trailer. I think at this point in time, it's a bit too late to do a direct. I feel like they would have had to done one a couple months before, honestly.
I think, though, when was the Xenoblade 2 Direct in relation to the release date of Xenoblade 2?
I'm not sure, but I don't think it was that far away from it.
No, I recall it was like a couple of weeks before the game even came out. Let me just check. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Direct. It was a month before release. They had the Xenoblade 2 Direct. It was on the 7th of November.
In that case, unless we get one like right after the June Direct.
I can imagine they do that, like a week after the June Direct. We say, hey, we're gonna have a Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Direct. I mean, they could even put it in the Direct itself. By the way, tune in next week. We're gonna have a Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Direct. They did that with Animal Crossing before.
Yeah.
I think as well, the other games to really talk. There's also the rumored extra Fire Emblem game as well. That could be a part of it.
I feel like we'll get stuff about that after Three Hopes comes out.
Now, okay,
Yeah.
let's talk about the big third-party game that Nintendo fans, I think most fans, want to know about. Do we finally see in the June Direct a trailer for Hollow Knight Silk Song?
Oh, that's a tough one.
I think they have to now. I think it's now or never.
Well, how long ago was it first announced? Because it's been a long time, hasn't
That
it?
was like 2019.
E3 2019.
So that's like going on 3 years now.
I think 3 years of nothing is too long. I think they need to show some. But the thing is, I also think when we see Hollow Knight Silk Song, it has to be the release. The release date has to accompany it.
Yeah.
I don't think they can say like coming soon or even a release window. I don't think they can get away with anymore.
Yeah, especially considering like this is DLC. This isn't even like a full new game.
This is a full
This
new
is like
game.
an update. So
No, it's not an update. It is a new game.
oh, is it?
Yeah, it's a completely new game.
Oh right, I thought it was just like all the other updates we got for Hollow Knight. My bad.
No, it was going to be a part of that, but their ideas just expanded so much, and they had to make a new game for it. So,
Yeah, you need to understand. I am not smart,
so
and after my break from social media last year, I barely go on Twitter now.
So, I think if there's no sign of Silk Song this summer, do you guys think Team Cherry showed it off too soon?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
I agree. I think it doesn't even need to come out this year. I think if they don't show it again, I'm like, okay, I know COVID delays must have affected you, but this is beyond COVID delays now. You clearly didn't have it. Especially considering that they showed off gameplay in E3 2019. They didn't just show off that the game existed.
How big is the dev team for it?
It's a very small dev team, actually. Team Cherry does not have a lot of employees. It's kind of why I hope someone acquires
When
it.
we got the initial trailer for it, was it advertising an update or the game?
The game. They were advertising.
Oh, right,
saying
okay.
Silk Song will be this new game. You're going to be controlling the Hornet Knight. I'm going to be so interested to see how this plays out now, especially considering that I have now pretty much done all the bosses in Hollow Knight. So I've got a bit more. By the way, Nightmare King Grim is a total disaster for my sanity.
Well, yeah, he is designed to be an insanely difficult boss.
I beat his base form. I can't beat the Nightmare form. So that being said, I do not regret his DLC. It's fantastic. And the pin you get with him is great. Shall we? So I think we need to talk about though with the June Direct. What do we think is the big deal final game in June Direct?
No, I'm gonna say now. If it is either Prime or if it is the Prime HD remake, I don't think that'll be the ender.
No, I think Prime is the opener, and Bayonetta 3's release date is the closer.
Yeah.
I don't know about. Despite how excited I am for Bayonetta, I don't know if I'd say that will be the closer.
Well, if it's not Bayonetta,
Well,
it's going to be the Mario game. If it's not the Bayonetta.
Yeah. Okay, then here's another question before we go back to what's going to end it. Do you think we will get more on the Mario Kart DLC?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
I think because they've got to release some more of that soon if they want to get like at least 3 or 4 packs out by the end of the year.
Yeah.
I suspect we'll get a new Rainbow Road in this one.
I don't think so. I think they'll save that for the last pack.
Okay, that's true.
Well, I don't know because the initial lot had 2 rainbow. The original races in the game had 2 rainbow roads. I feel like we'll probably get if we do get Rainbow Roads, we might get the first one in Pack 4 and the next one in the...
Pack
No, we're
eight.
getting 6. In that case, Pack 3 and the next one in Pack 6.
Okay, so let's talk then Sega and Atlas. Because those companies, Atlas is owned by Sega, so let's lump them together. We will hear something from Atlas in June, because they've already confirmed the next part of the Persona 25th anniversary is going to be in June. It's not going to... I'm going to spoil it for everyone. It's not Persona 6. Persona 6...
I was not expecting it to be.
Persona 6 will be shown off, but it's probably going to be September.
Yeah. I feel like the best thing we could get from there is like a console port of Persona 4. As much as I want Persona 5 for Switch, I don't think that's sadly, I think that's one of the unfortunate realities we're not going to be living in.
Yeah, I agree. I think Sony wants to keep Persona 5 as long as possible.
Even though holy hell, I want Persona 5 on Switch so bad.
Yeah, well, my question is though, when it comes to Persona 4, will they just do vanilla 4 or port Golden?
It'll be Golden easily.
Yeah,
we got Golden on Steam. There would be no reason why we wouldn't get Golden on consoles.
Yeah, they don't want to port the half-done one. They want to port the fully complete one. I don't see a reason why. It's why Persona 5, if it was going to go to Switch, they would put Royal on there. They would definitely not give you the mainline Persona 5.
Yeah.
So that brings me on to the other... So that's kind of where I think we're standing with Atlas. They obviously have got Soul Hackers 2 coming out later this year. But I don't think... They might show a new trailer for that, but I don't think they're going to go too far into the marketing for it. I think the one I want to talk about, though, was Sega. Obviously, the biggest one from Sega right now is Sonic Frontiers.
Yeah.
I suspect we do see a trailer for it at the Summer Games Fest kickoff show.
Yeah.
The only thing I could think of that Sega would, or big thing that Sega would do outside of Sonic, would be another Yakuza game, which I don't think we're getting. I've done a bit of looking up. And while Yakuza 8 is in development, I don't think we'll be getting that anytime soon.
Yeah, let Sonic Frontiers have its moment. Concentrate on Sonic Frontiers, then we'll do Yakuza. I mean, those are the two game franchises that are really keeping Sega's lights on at the minute.
Well, I guess that and the Atlas stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely a higher possibility of it being Sonic, just to piggyback off the success of the new film.
Yeah, I think Sonic Frontiers does have a release date of this holiday.
Yeah.
I think it makes that release date. They've apparently already delayed it from last year because they wanted to ensure the quality of it. I think we do need to see, and if it's coming out later this year, I think we do need to see sooner rather than later gameplay for what Sonic is going to play like in an open world environment.
Yeah.
As well as I think we need a hint on what the antagonist is going to be like, because I feel like that's normally something they tend to show off.
Yeah, because it's definitely not going to be Eggman as the final boss this time. I think Eggman being the final boss is a thing reserved for things like Sonic Colors.
Spoilers, it's Solaris from and Sonic 06 all over again.
Oh god! At least that boss fight was all right. So I think that's a definite. Okay, let's go through a few rapid fire ones before we make some far predictions. Activision, maybe a bit on Overwatch 2, but I think that's not much, I'd say.
Well, they have to show off a new Call of Duty, Calvin.
No, they're not bringing one out this year. They've already said they're not going to do one this year. Call of Duty taking a break for the year.
Yeah, it's Modern Warfare 2 next year, isn't it?
Hang on a second, Elliot. Oh yeah, there's a pig flying over there.
What the? Well, that's weird. They normally release one every year.
Oh, and for the record, before you say this is a reaction to the Russia-Ukraine war, they did announce this weeks before that war actually took place.
Oh no, I wasn't gonna say that was the reason why.
Yeah,
let's be honest, World War III will come out, and Activision will just be going, write that down.
No, Advance Wars is the only game that's had a delay because of that. That and Stalker 2, obviously, because that's a Ukrainian dev team.
Yeah.
The other company I want to talk about, From Software. Do we get an announcement for Elden Ring DLC?
I think so.
How long was
I'm trying to think. Did Dark Souls? How long had it been between Dark Souls 3 and this DLC?
Yeah, what about Bloodborne as well? That had a bit of a gap between its release and DLC.
Yeah. I feel like with Elden Ring, we were just getting an announcement that DLC is in the works. We are definitely not going to be seeing anything of that until, I'm going to say, around next year.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I think you might be on something there.
Especially considering, like, this is easily FromSoft's most ambitious title yet. So...
And also its best-selling one to date.
Yeah, it's also a case of how you're going to bolt whatever environment you create onto the open world that already exists.
Well, there is one area that has a lot of cut content that I won't say because of spoilers, but I'll talk to you afterwards, Calvin.
Oh, yeah, I know the one you're on about. Yeah, I've read about that as well. Yeah, no, they could do that. The thing is, though, I don't think Souls DLC is as usually the cut content just put back in the game. It's normal.
Yeah, it's not. Trust me, it's never like that. With Dark Souls 3 and Bloodborne, they were definitely like just things added into the game. And I'm excited for the Elden Ring DLC because normally the DLC tends to be the highlights of all the Souls games for me.
We're agreed though, Elden Ring is getting DLC at some point.
Oh,
yes, it was confirmed in the. Yeah, it was confirmed in the investor report they did.
Okay, so Elden Ring DLC is definitely happening.
Yeah.
God knows when we'll see it. I don't think it releases until at least early next year.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be getting it next year.
So let's Capcom. Let's do Capcom.
Well, we have Monster Hunter Sunbreak.
Yeah, Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak's coming June. Same day as the Cuphead DLC.
I feel like we have to see Resident Evil 8 DLC from them now.
Yeah, no, I think it's a must because we've gone a year past release and we're coming up to a year from the announcement of the DLC.
Yeah. There's also the rumoured remake of RE4.
Well, that's not rumoured. That we know that exists because it was on that leaked report those hackers got and put online.
Yeah.
When do we see Resident Evil 4 remake?
Next year, if we get it.
Yeah.
I think we see the reveal trailer for it, though, this year. I mean, that could be a big one for Summer Games Fest. I mean, imagine Resident Evil 4 remake being there.
Mm.
I mean, we're setting up a lot of good ideas here, but obviously only a fraction of these are going to actually happen.
If any.
Definitely.
I mean, that being said, it'll be interesting to go through things like the Summer Games Fest. I mean, we're going to cover quite a few of them, but we're only going to cover the substantial shows. So, like, we won't cover a state of play if it's just about God of War, for example.
Yeah.
We won't cover a game-only focused direct. We're going to cover just the bigger shows. So the minute we got down, we're going to be doing the Summer Games Fest kickoff show. We're going to do the Xbox show. We'll do the June direct, obviously.
Yeah.
That's a given.
I think, though, other than that, I think we are going to do... We will do something like if Ubisoft... As much as we don't really like them, we will do the Ubisoft Forward if it happens, because we did it last year around this time. We might as well stick to tradition.
Yeah.
The only one as I say, I think, though, I think Jeff Keighley might be in a bit of trouble this year, because it's like, you're now the only game in town. What are you going to show off? And I mean, last year you were lucky you had Elden Ring. What have you got this year?
Yeah, I think the problem with Jeff Keighley is that you can see he's a bit arrogant with like the Summer Game Fest and the Game Awards. Like, he always boasted up to be an amazing thing when last year I think we can all admit Elden Ring saved it.
Yeah, Elden Ring really saved that show. That show was not great up until... And everyone kind of forgot about how the fact that show wasn't great up until Elden Ring was shown off.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll be honest. As I said, Elden Ring is like the only thing I really remember from that.
Well, let's... as I say, my two thoughts on games that would be big enough to match the Elden Ring release date trailer would be the Silent Hill 2 remake by Blooper Team or Kojima's new game that he's making with Microsoft. But honestly,
for me, I don't think I think it's only going to be one of those two. That will be Silent Hill. I do not care at all for Kojima's next game.
Okay, Reese. Reese, do you think? Can you think of anything else that could match something like an Elden Ring reveal?
Not from what's currently just been leaked or announced at the minute. I think potentially. I think probably the best bet at the minute is the Silent Hill 2 remake.
Now, that's the thing. Has Jeff got the Silent Hill 2 remake?
Yeah, that's the thing. If he doesn't, there's not really a lot else.
I mean, he could show off more about Mass Effect, but I think that game's so far off that he wouldn't have anything at this point.
Yeah.
I think people probably have their doubts after Andromeda.
Yeah.
And even worse after Anthem with BioWare.
Final Fantasy 16 could be a very big.
Oh wait, it's actually something we didn't think about. Will we see Dragon Age?
Ooh, yeah. Maybe I have my doubts.
Because you do know that they are working on like a Dragon Age 4, right?
Yeah, we saw it at the Game Awards a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
So maybe Dragon Age shows up at this thing. I'm not so sure. We'll have to wait and see. How about? I'm trying to think of something that would. I'm trying to think of anything at this point, and I think if the only things that would outdo it would be something so out of the blue that we couldn't possibly predict it. Like, but even then, I'm trying to run my imagination wild, and I'm struggling to come up with something.
An Eminem's golf game.
Eminem golf.
Where you can finally play as where the green M&M is finally sexy again.
What about the other one I thought might do it is a Blue Point remake of either Metal Gear Solid or Bloodborne, both of which have been rumored are the remake Blue Point is working on.
I think the Bloodborne one will get a bigger reaction.
I don't know. Metal Gear Solid is really big.
It is, but it's not as big as Bloodborne, especially since Kojima left.
Yeah, it'll be like... Yeah. I think...
Because otherwise, don't forget, the last Metal Gear game we got was Survive and Pachinko machines.
Yeah, but that...
Actually, who's to say the Silent Hill 2 remake isn't just going to be a Pachinko machine?
I trust Nate the hate on this one. I'm going to say it is... I'm going to say that I think his information is accurate on this. I'm going to also make a claim on this one. I think that another one I've thought about is, though, I think Blue Point would do a very good job with Metal Gear Solid, considering how well they've done with Demon's Souls and Shadow of the Colossus.
The difference is Metal Gear Solid is a very different game to both of those.
Yeah, it's a very different genre.
Yeah, but they've done well with those. Bloodborne would be interesting for them to do, but I also think Blue Point in both cases they won't have Japan Studios as a support team.
Actually, that's something we didn't think about in Sony State of Play. Do we see the so hyped Last of Us remake?
Oh yes, I think we do actually. I think Last of Us comes out in later this year as well.
Especially because we've got the TV show as well coming out.
No, we haven't.
Please don't make me review that.
I'll take it, Elliot. Relax. I'll take it.
Seriously, as I said before, Last of Us 2 has just made me care nothing for the rest of the series. It has killed all love for it for me.
Now, the HBO series has been delayed to next year, but I don't believe they'll delay the remake game in response to it. I think the remake game does come out later this year. That's their big holiday push. That and God of War Ragnarok. Thanks for reminding me. I completely forgot about it. But yeah, I do.
As I wish I did.
For the record, these two are not big fans of Last of Us Part 2 at all.
No, because we have standards.
Because the Last of Us part, because the only thing I really liked about the first Last of Us I realized was the story. The gameplay is kind of boring, and the Last of Us 2 is Last of Us 2 basically takes the story of the Last of Us Part 1 and shoots it behind the shed.
Can I just say, guys, I'm the one who has to read the angry comments here. When we will get them if anyone gets this far into it. For that,
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if my opinion upsets you, but what can I say? I don't like bad games.
Okay.
Yeah, with our objective truth that The Last of Us is terrible.
Well, the Last
Last of Us 2 is terrible. I still think the first Last of Us is good.
I'm a bit in the middle when it comes to Last of Us Part 2. I think from a gameplay standpoint, it improves on a few things from the first one, but the story is all over the place.
The problem is, I don't even really like the gameplay in the first Last of Us. The thing that got me through that game was the story.
Also, I think The Last of Us 2, the environments are a little too open, so often I'm struggling to know where the hell am I supposed to be going here. So obviously, if we're not back any sooner, we'll be back on June the 10th with our thoughts on Summer Game Fest's kickoff show.
Yep.
And of course, we're going to keep you up to date with the summer of gaming. But before we go, since we're kind of at the halfway point of the year, what games have been the highlights of the year so far for you guys?
Elden Ring.
Yeah, probably Elden Ring for me and Kirby.
I'm going to go for the 3 games that have been the highlights of the year for me. The biggest highlights of the year for me so far have been Elden Ring, Kirby, and Triangle Strategy. I'm
surprised no one said Pokemon Legends Arceus yet.
It's good, but the thing that holds me back from saying it's the best is the lack of a lot of PvP features.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I still think it's. I'd probably say it's my second favorite game of the year so far. Mind you, I'm not really into the PvP when it comes to Pokemon.
I really like the PvP aspect of Pokemon. I really like the trainer battles and the gym leaders and all that business.
You mean that? I thought you meant actual player versus player stuff.
Well, that too.
Well, that too.
And the fact that trading feels quite limited, and there's no real breeding chain, so there's no sort of like making a score bunny for you guys.
Again, I will at the very least say the same thing as I did when I think we talked about Exeggutor a while ago, Calvin. It's a spin-off game. It's not really much of a mainstay game. Yeah, just take a lot of elements from the main games, but it is labeled as its own thing rather than.
Well, don't forget, it was being marketed as the next advancement in the series for all these new systems.
And I'll agree with both of your points on this one. I think as well, we'll be interested to see how we'll get an open world Pokemon game later this year with Scarlet and Violet.
Yeah.
Which is going to try to take a few of the elements of Legends Arceus and apply it to the main series Pokemon games.
Actually, that's a question. Do you think we'll get like any major DLC for Arceus?
No. I think they've made their point clear. They want to concentrate on Scarlet and Violet now.
Yeah, especially because I 100%ed the game, and afterwards there's no lingering story threads or anything to base the DLC on.
News just before we go. Mario Strikers Battle League is going to get a demo event for next weekend for us all to try out.
Oh, nice.
It's called The First Kick. It'll be on June the 4th and June the 5th. For the Brits, well, 2 of them are at 4 in the morning, so we're obviously not going to do that. But there is one, both the Saturday and the Sunday of next week. You can play between 12 and 1 and 8 and 9 in the evening.
Yeah, well, we'll definitely give that a go.
So yeah,
I probably will.
I'll put it in the chat. So that's an event to check out. So it looks like they're going to do a lot of online testing, similar to that of what they did with Nintendo Switch Sports.
Yeah.
So with all that being said, thanks for tuning in for this one. We'll see you again at Summer Games Fest. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Take care, y'all.